So I'm basically 100% better. By tomorrow, hopefully I should be a full 110%. It's time to go over my birthday race, the 68th Daytona 500 for the 68th running of the Great American Race, and what was my Ricky Craven 32nd birthday, which was also my first birthday in Daytona 500 without my grandmother. Spoiler alert, none of the six homies won, and like I said last year on March 11, 10 days after I lost my grandmother, if that would have happened, or if all six of them could basically DNF in this race, which surprisingly, which wasn't the case. I mean, I don't know if how many of them DNF'd, if any of them did. I don't even fucking remember, because it feels like a semi-eternity ago. I'm perfectly satisfied only because one reason. My best friend, who's 10 years older than me, why did I almost say Kelly Michelle Sunseri? I'm thinking of Kelly Michelle Berglund. Oh my God. Kelly Christine Sanseria is my SSA, because, so therefore, she's been my best friend for like since 2023. So therefore, I did say even if like Austin, Ty, John Hunter, Zane, Noah, Riley, didn't win the Daytona 500 this year for my first one without my grandmother and my Ricky Craven 32nd birthday, I'd be satisfied no matter what, because my best friend, Kelly Christian Sanseri, who's 10 years older than me, I've been my best friend since 2023, like I said, is my SSA. So I'm perfectly satisfied that none of the six homies I root for in Winston Cup won the Great American Race on my Ricky Craven 32nd birthday, because I've got my best friend as my SSA. So it's all good in the neighborhood, in the happiest place in Northeast Ohio we call Sandy Ridge. And of course, since it's been 25 years since we lost presumably the greatest NASCAR driver of all time in this exact same race on the 199th lap, running in the third position, the number 3 GM Goodwrench Service Plus Chevrolet Monte Carlo for Richard Childress Racing, we honored the Intimidator with a moment of silence and 3 fingers in the air on the third lap, which is what was also done from race 2 to 36 in 2001, the 2002 Daytona 500, the 2011 Daytona 500, the 2021 Daytona 500, and now the 2026 Daytona 500. So therefore, rest in peace, Dale Earnhardt Sr. And look at this, Nemechek was actually leading the race. As you know, Emily and Julia were having a little bit of a jam session during this first green flag run, and it was working for Nemechek a little bit until that, unfortunately, that good juju ran out. So they were playing the music, having a little bit of a opening race, music session, and then the caution comes out for BJ McLeod cutting a tire in turn 4 and collecting a few cars, including Kamikaze's homeboy, Casey Mears, one of my homeboys, Noah Gregson. And look at Riley taking some evasive maneuver with his teammate behind him. And Willie B's, quest for 3 straight Daytona 500s kind of went up in smoke that way. He did get a little cosmetic damage. I mean, he did get it fixed for the most part. But as you saw later throughout the race, that car was not the same after that. It was not the same like it was last year and the year before when he won. And I know I'm not a fan of this, gridlock, fuel saving, Gen 7 restrictor plate bullshit either, but it was my birthday and I had guests over, so I completely ignored that shit and just tried to enjoy the race without trying to feel any frustration. And to me, I just thought it was a damn good race, considering, having the people I love over and being my first, birthday in Daytona 500 without my grandmother here kind of made it less stressful. So therefore, I don't know if we'll be able to say the same about the Aaron's 499 at Talladega when we get there come springtime, by the time then it'll be time to go outside again and see the Spurs play in the playoffs again for the first time since 2019, in which we're going to save that discussion for another day, another video, another topic. We're talking about Spurs basketball. So this is where the green flag pit stop started to happen, when we started 8 to go in stage 1 and 143 to go in the race overall. So this is where I got the closest to it. Oh, look at that. The king of being all set, spun it coming to the pit road. But NASCAR saw that as, but just coming in too hot and just, he got it back going again. So therefore, there was no need for a yellow flag. So kudos to NASCAR for not getting tail happy with the caution light button this weekend. Now, here's where I got the closest to a birthday win on Sunday. This motherfucker on the 38 car won the first stage, and luckily, all my guests, before 2 of them had to leave earlier than expected, got to see my celebration, of me celebrating that stage 1 win like he actually won the damn race. So therefore, I was pretty happy to see get someone of my favorite drivers of 6 get a stage win on my real birthday. birthday. So that was the closest to a birthday present I could give for many of my 6 favorite drivers on the track. So Zane Smith, good shit, number 38. And you'll see he had a chance to give me the ultimate birthday present later in the review. So therefore, so now here, Ty takes the lead, but look what happened to his brother behind him. Connor Zillage and big talentless, slow bitch ass Cody Ware caused a big wreck. Austin, you had all day to avoid that wreck. Where were you going, dude? Basically, the racetrack looked to be the safest place to stay out of trouble. And guess what? I get it. Most people like to go to the pits to avoid accidents like that off turn 4, Daytona and Talladega, but in this case, you picked the wrong way. So, therefore, it was Allgaier, Zillage, and, Gibbs, Briscoe, the talentless slow bitch Cody Ware, who I dream of is not NASCAR no more one day. I mean, the announcers were praising Zillage, and look at that. Talk about the announcer jinx. Right as they were praising him, he ends up wrecking the son of a bitch. And this is where the boneheaded move comes in after that. Justin Allgaier not clear of Denny. I mean, I don't care for Denny, but this was Justin Allgaier's fault, considering his spotter told him clear when clearly he wasn't, took out 20 cars. I mean, Zane Smith was in the wreck, but it really didn't matter because you could see later that he was in position to race for the win, as you saw. I mean, it's a miracle this did not cause a red flag because rain was on its way. Nemechek had some cosmetic damage, but he was still able to finish the stage in the same position and kind of get the car fixed under going under the stage caution going into stage 3. So I mean, who else? One of my other homies was in it too. I know they listed Riley as involved, but to me, he did a hell of a job, doing a Tokyo drift through the infield grass and part of the pit road to not get any damage, like to touch anybody or anything. So kind of Riley cheesed his way through the crash. So I kind of give him credit, even though they technically listed him as involved. But, he really didn't touch anybody or anything, as Buddha, rockin' everywhere, a.k.a. Bubba Wallace, picked up the stage 2 victory under yellow. And Nemechek, despite all the damage, ended up on the front, ended up getting a top 5 finish in the second stage. So therefore, now we move on to stage 3. So stage 3 gets underway. I mean, Zane and Riley are like 3rd and 5th despite being in that wreck. So I kind of fussed for nothing. I mean, I fussed for nothing when Noah got that damage from Mears and McLeod in the first caution because look at him. He's still in the top 10 here. I mean, sometimes when I get my favorite drivers get involved in these real big wrecks at restrictor plate tracks, sometimes I just fuss for nothing, thinking they're out of it. I mean, Gen 6 and Gen 5 and even Gen 4, oh yeah, if you're in a 15, 20, 25 car pileup, you're automatically out of it. But Gen 7, it seems not to be the case. You could be in the big one, get your car fixed and still race for the win because, Gen 7 is, as bad as it races on super speedways outside of Atlanta. You could get some medium size cosmetic damage in a big multiple car crash involving 15, 20, 25 cars, and you could still race for the win, later, as long as you don't run into further trouble or pick up more damage than you would expect with this Gen 7. So therefore, a couple of my homies still had a shot at the win. I mean, Ty Dillon stayed out of trouble until, well, you'll see later. 20 to go, the money stop came, where the final round of green flag pit stops came. That was no problem because everybody pitted, no problem. Got on and off pit road, no issues, and got the whole pack back together, no problem. So therefore, there was no issues, debate coming on and off of pit road for what was the final stop of the day for anyone, whether it was any of your favorite drivers or least favorite drivers. Everybody kept it clean as a whistle and straight like Scott Pruitt, which I really, really like because usually the field doesn't do that, whether it be the Winston Cup Series, the Busch Grand National Series, or the Craftsman Truck Series when it comes to a restrictor plate track, when it comes to the final round of green flag pit stops. So attaboy to the best drivers in the world for not causing any commotion on the last green flag pit stop. See, look at how intelligently they were driving here. Why can't every plate race in NASCAR, whether it be Winston, Busch, or Craftsman, ever be like that? I don't really know, but they were really driving intelligently here. Getting on and off pit road. Nobody sped. Nobody made a mistake in the pits. No pit crews made any mistakes. Individual pit crews made any mistakes. In each of the individual cars. So the pit crews used their brains, and so do the drivers, and so do the teams and the crew chiefs and the spotters. So I have to applaud them for doing that. And this is where all hell broke loose. I mean, not as bad as last year, but close enough. it was Gibbs on Gibbs crime right here that brought out the final yellow flag with, was it 9 to go or was it coming to 8 to go? It was 9 to go. It was 9 to go. So, yeah, that's the caution that set up, a 4-lap shootout. And Michael McDowell almost pulled this shit off with some crazy pit strategy. I thought it was going to be 2021 all over again, but you'll see it wasn't meant to be. So it was basically Gibbs on Gibbs crime. So Christopher Bell on Denny Hamlin. See, the pits is the safest place to go, as Suarez said, as Suarez showed here. But anyway, so therefore, it was a 4-lap shootout. McDowell was like probably the only one that didn't pit, that was good on fuel, that didn't have to pit. Everybody pitted except for him. So therefore, I was gonna say, if he pulled this shit off, that would be like, some high IQ pit strategy by his crew chief. But as you'll see in a little bit here, unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, considering, his wrecking ball teammate Carson Hocevar took the white flag as the leader. And considering how much of a wrecking ball he was all weekend, I'm glad he didn't win shit this weekend, considering he throws a stupid block on a 43, takes out his teammate, Ty and Nemechek get taken out by Blaney, and 12 other cars pile in, and NASCAR did the right thing by letting the race play out and not throwing the caution flag. Here, I thought there was going to be a caution, but like I said, I guess they must have learned from last year with all the bitching and complaining about the yellow flag finishes. So they let them race to the checkered flag under green. And here I'm about to lose my mind in front of my girlfriend and the last guest we had left, because I thought Zanes was going to pull off some crazy shit to get the victory. And here comes Riley. And here I am thinking he's going to pull off either Riley or Zane's going to pull out some crazy shit to get the victory. I'm in here getting ready to celebrate until Riley pulls a dumb block and takes out everybody except for the eventual winner, Tyler Reddick, who won the 68th running of the Great American Race and got Michael Jordan his first career Winston Cup win as a car owner. So that's another trophy he can add to his legendary career trophy case. So therefore, I'm so glad I can finally get this out. So by tomorrow, you should know if I'm feeling 110% better. And you'll see on TikTok the Karma to Burn 32 dance, as per tradition, whenever I get sick and I know I'm feeling my 110% self again. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Good night. My Ricky Craven 32nd birthday is officially over until we do it all over again next year for my Mike Wallace 33rd birthday. I will see you all for the next video, whenever that may be. And we are so back, baby. See you later, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.